Hello students, I welcome to all of you to this session of fluid mechanics. Dear students, this is Dheeraj Mondal, Assistant Professor, JS College of Engineering. Today we are going to discuss about the kinematics of fluid. You know that last class I discussed about the kinematics of fluid, types of fluid were discussed, where we have seen that there are mainly 6 type of fluid, types of flow, and here basically we have discussed the steady flow, unsteady flow, uniform flow, non-uniform flow. Then we discussed about the rotational flow and irrotational flow, all this. So before coming to the discussion of the next topic, let us discuss that how you can connect me. This is my YouTube channel, DM Study Center here, and this is my email ID. You can connect me here. Okay, if you are having any doubt, you can write some comment on the below the video. Okay, for any kind of notification and any kind of notes, you can join my Telegram channel. Okay, so you know that last class I discussed about the fluid kinematics, where the particular flow field, types of flow will be were discussed. Steady flow, unsteady flow were discussed. This uniform and non-uniform flow were discussed. Laminar flow, very important, which were discussed. Laminar flow. Then your turbulent flow, compressible flow, incompressible flow, and all this, and one dimensional flow, two dimensional flow, three dimensional flow, rotational flow, irrotational flow also discussed. Now today we are going to discuss about the path line, streak line, and also continuity equation. Then continuity equation for three dimensional flow will be discussed. Okay, so first of all let us discuss the continuity equation. What do you mean by continuity equation? So the continuity equation basically it is the it is apply, that means it is coming it is based on the conservation of mass. The continuity equation we can apply when the fluid is flowing from one point to another point. It is, so you know that last class also we discussed the rate of flow. What do you mean by rate of flow? Rate of flow, Q is equal to your volume flow rate, that means amount of fluid discharge per unit time, that is your rate of flow, isn't it? So Q is the discharge and volume of water flowing per unit time is called your discharge, and the unit where I discussed, the unit was your meter cube per second. Now this volume, you can see discharge is equal to volume by time. Now volume can be written as, you know that mass is equal to what? Rho into V, because we know that rho is equal to m by V. Now mass flow rate means rho into V by T. Now this rho into V by T means your Q, isn't it? So the Q is equal to, you know that volume flow rate, and mass flow rate is equal to rho into V, and mass flow rate is rho into V by T, and this can be written as rho into Q, and Q is what? Q is equal to Q, the unit of Q is your meter cube per second, isn't it? So meter, if I want to write that meter square, meter per second into meter, so what we can write here, basically Q is equal to meter square, Q is equal to meter cube per second, na? So meter cube per second can be written as meter square into meter per second. That means it is meter square is what? Length square, or you can say area, and meter per second velocity. So Q is equal to, also you can write area into velocity. Clear? So Q is equal to area into velocity, and mass flow rate is equal to rho into q. So what we can write, mass flow rate is equal to rho into area into velocity. So that is your mass, where rho is the density, a is the area, cross sectional area, and v is the velocity. Clear? Now if q is equal to area into velocity and m is equal to rho into area into velocity, then the continuity equation is basically the equation based on the principle of conservation of mass. Okay, continuity equation basically it is based on the principle of conservation of mass. Thus for a flowing fluid, for a fluid flowing through a pipe in all cross sectional area, cross section, the continuity of the fluid per second, that means the mass flow rate is equal to constant. Okay, so let us consider this is a pipe. Now the m.1 amount of mass is entering into the system, and here m2 dot amount of mass coming out of the system. So mathematically we can say that m1 dot is equal to m2 dot. Okay, because the amount total amount of water or total amount of liquid coming into the system is equal to coming out of the system. Okay, so that is your continuity equation. Okay, it is basically based on the principle of conservation of mass. Total mass is conserved. Mass can neither be created nor destroyed. Okay, only you can transfer from mass from one point to another point, that's all. Clear? Now mathematically, if m1 dot is equal to m2 dot, so we can write rho 1 a1 v1 is equal to rho 2 a2 v2. Am I right? Where rho 1 is the density at the inlet, a1 is the area, cross sectional area at the inlet, v1 is the velocity of the fluid at inlet. Similarly at the outlet it is. But in case of incompressible flow, the rho 1 is equal to rho 2, so that is why a1 v1 is equal to a2 v2. a1 v1 is equal to a2 v2. So that is your equation. So this is your continuity equation for in case of incompressible flow, but continuity equation in case of compressible flow is equal to rho 1 a1 v1 is equal to rho 2 a2 v2. So I think it is clear. So what I have discussed, that is written here, a1 a2. Okay, mass coming into the system is equal to mass coming out of the system. Okay, now if you know the continuity equation, then by the help of this equation you can easily solve some numerical. That means let us consider this is a pipe, and from this pipe in this pipe the cross sectional area is your a1 and v1 is the velocity. Now what happened, the water is flowing in pipe 2 and pipe 3 also, 1 2 3. Okay, so you can write that q1 discharge at the inlet is equal to q1 plus q2 plus q3. So q is equal to what, area into velocity. So area a1 into v1 is equal to a2 into v2 plus a3 into v3. So this is how you can find out the particular whatever the desired that means sometime you may ask that what is the velocity at the inlet, and all the value will be given. Okay, so based on this you can solve some numerical. Clear? Now continuity equation in 3 dimension in a different form. Okay, let us consider here basically this is a boundary. Okay, and it is your fixed region as control. This is your control volume. What happened, mass of the fluid entering into the region, and this is your control surface, and mass of the fluid coming out of the region. So what happened when some mass of liquid is coming into this control volume, and some mass coming out of the control volume. So you know that this is your three-dimensional flow. Okay, three dimensional flow. Now here we will be discussing in case of continuity equation in 3-dimensional flow. This is your continuity equation in 3-dimensional flow. Okay, now see here, this is your x axis, this one is your z axis, this is your y axis. Now what happened, a cube shape, you can see this is a shape of cube. Now here let us consider some amount of mass is coming into the system, this control volume, and some mass is coming out of the control volume. Clear? Now if rho is the density of the fluid, V here basically you can see this U, rho is equal to density, U is the what? U is the velocity in x direction, and ABCD, this ABCD is the cross sectional area. Okay, if it is, that means I am considering that dx, dy and dz, here you can see this is your dx, this is your dz, and this is your dy. Okay, consider a fluid element of length dx, dy, dz in the direction of x, y and z, and u, v and w are the inlet velocity component in x, y and z direction respectively. Then mass of fluid entering into ABCD phase, this is your phase ABCD. Now if I want to consider the what is the amount of mass which is coming into the system, so mass flow rate is equal to, we know that, rho into area into velocity. Am I right? So rho into area into velocity, so rho, area is what? Area is equal to dy into dz, isn't it? And velocity is equal to u, isn't it? So at the inlet, this is your mass flow rate, this is your mass flow rate, du into rho into u into dy into dz. So this amount of mass is entering into the system. Now we have to calculate at the outlet what is the amount of mass, that means as that fluid is traveling through this distance x, so because of this movement of the fluid from this C point to G point, or from it is coming out through this phase F E A G A G F G H E F G H, sorry, E F G H. So what happened, we are assuming that some mass is gained when it is traveling throughout this control volume. We are assuming. Okay, basically what we need to find out, we need to calculate, and that means how much, that means the continuity equation we have to calculate here. Now through the phase EFGH, what is, let us consider some mass is gained. Okay, so according to the Taylor's function, you know that total this amount of mass is there. Now we are assuming that there is some generation at the when it is leaving to the control volume from the phase EFGH, then some mass is with respect to this space, there is some generation of mass. So this is all good. So this plus del x of rho u dy dz into dx. So this amount of mass is generated. Okay, because when some fluid is traveling through some space, then with respect to space you have to differentiate, so that we will be getting some changes. Okay, so this is coming from the Taylor's function. Okay, so rho u dy dz plus this mass. Okay, so this is the generation of mass. If I am just calculating, I want to calculate the gain of mass in x direction, then what is happening? Mass through this EFGA is minus mass through ABCD phase. Okay, so ultimately you can see here, so you can see this is your mass in the phase EFGH and mass in the phase ABCD. So ultimately if you are deducting this ABCD to EFGH minus EFGH minus ABCD, then you will be getting, then you can get del x of rho u dx dy dz, isn't it? So this amount of generation of mass you can experience from the x direction. Okay, when you are subtracting. Similarly from the y direction, same process you have to apply in the y direction, and you will be getting del y of rho v. Instead of u, you have to put v, and same dx dy dz, isn't it? Similarly at the z direction, what we will be getting? Del z of rho w dx dy dz. Okay, so this is the amount of, so net gain is the summation of these three equations. So the net gain is equal to, okay, so this is the net gain. You can see this is your net gain. Okay, so I have seen that there is some generation of mass, that is net gain is equal to what? Del x of rho u plus del y of rho v plus del z of rho w to dx dy dz. Okay, now I think it is clear. Now let us discuss, that means if since there is no accumulation of mass and hence the above quantity must be zero, that means we assume that this amount of mass is generated. Okay, also there is some mass which is generated with respect to time, so that is your del m by del rho, that means your with respect to some time you have to calculate also some mass. So with respect to some time, here basically you can see del rho by del t here, isn't it? So what happened, the whatever del rho by del t into dx, that means I want to say that if m amount of mass is coming into the system and some amount of mass coming out of the system, so this is because of the convective, that means if we want to calculate this in terms of the steady flow, then with respect to some time, del m by del t is the, with respect to some time there will be some generation of mass. Now we know that m is equal to rho into v. Now v rho, so del rho by del t into dx into dy into dz, this is the volume. So this amount of mass also generated with respect to time. So with respect to space and with respect to time, two types of mass is generated, let us consider. Okay, so mathematically what we can write, that total mass generation is what? Del x of this is this amount of mass plus del rho by del rho by this is your del rho v by del t. So ultimately del x, del y, del z cancel out. So you will be getting this equation del rho by del t is equal to minus del rho u del x plus del rho v del y plus del rho w del y. So ultimately this equation will come. So remember this equation is for the continuity equation, general equation, but in case of steady flow this del rho by del t will be 0. So that is why for steady flow del rho u by del x this term will be 0. Okay, and for steady incompressible flow this rho is equal to also constant. So at that time the equation will be del u by del x plus del v by del y plus del w by del z is equal to 0. So this is the continuity equation for 3-dimensional flow. If in case of 2-dimensional flow we can write del u by del y x plus del v by del y is equal to 0. Okay, so this is all about the continuity equation. Please you just see your books, okay, then it will be more clear. Next, velocity and acceleration also we have to discuss here. Next we have to discuss about the velocity and acceleration. Let v, capital V is the resultant velocity at any point of a fluid flow, then and u is equal, u and v and w is the velocity component in x, y and z direction respectively. Then the velocity component are the function of space coordinate and time. Okay, and mathematically we can write u is equal to function of x, y, z and t. V is equal to function of x, y, z and t. Similarly w is equal to function of x, y and z and t. So what we can write? V is equal to, we can write u I vector component u I plus v j plus w k. Okay, so what we can write? V is equal to root over u square plus v square plus w square. Okay, so this is the resultant velocity. Now if I want to calculate the acceleration, so let us consider that ax, ay and az are the acceleration, total acceleration in x, y and z direction respectively. Then by chain rule of the differentiation we can write that ax is equal to du by dt, and du by dt can be written as ax is equal to du by dt, and du by dt can be written as del u by del x into dx by dt plus del u by del y into dy by dt plus del u by del z into dz by dt plus del u by del t. Okay, this del u by del t is the local acceleration and all these are the convective acceleration. Okay, now similarly in case of ay you can again write, so just replace this u in terms of v, then and all the equation will be same. In case of az just replace u in terms of w. So for a steady flow del v by del t is equal to 0, where v is the resultant velocity. So what we can write? Del u by del t is equal to 0, then del v by del t is equal to 0 and del w by del t is equal to also will be 0. So the equation of acceleration after neglecting this del u del t, del v del t and del w del t, what we will be getting? Ax is equal to u into du by dx, because dx by dt is equal to u, that is the velocity, plus v into del u by del y plus w into del u by del z. Similarly, in terms of y, just put v in terms of u. Okay, and the resultant acceleration, how we can calculate the resultant acceleration? Capital A is equal to root over ax square plus ay square plus az square. Okay, so this is all about the acceleration. Clear? Now let us solve a numerical. Before coming to this numerical, you need to know what is stream function, what is equipotential line, what is rotational flow, and all this. So till date what we have discussed, that kinematics of fluid flow, kinematics of flow introduction, what is kinematics flow was discussed, method of describing the fluid motion, where we have seen the Eulerian motion and Lagrangian Eulerian method and Lagrangian method, where the that means in case of Lagrangian method, single fluid particle is followed during the motion and its velocity, acceleration, density are described, and in case of Eulerian method, only one point, through this point whatever the fluid particle is flowing, we are just considering the velocity, analyzing the velocity, acceleration and density. Okay, types of flow were discussed, where steady flow, unsteady flow, uniform, non-uniform flow were discussed, laminar turbulent flow was discussed, compressible, incompressible flow, rotational, irrotational, one dimensional, two dimensional flow discussed. Now, so here you can see this is the equation for in steady flow, del v by del t. You can see del v by del t is equal to 0, del p by del rho is equal to 0, del t is equal to 0, del rho by del t is equal to 0. But in case of unsteady flow, it is not depending upon the time. If we am considering the uniform flow, then with respect to space, the fluid characteristics is equal to 0. So del v by del s at constant time is equal to 0. In case of non-uniform flow, del v by del s not equal to 0. Laminar flow, I discussed that it is that type of flow where the fluid particle is flowing through a well-defined path or streamline, and all the streamlines are straight and parallel. Okay, and the smoothly it is flowing from one point to another point. But in case of turbulent flow, it is following some zigzag way. Okay, so due to this zigzag way, there is some eddies formation, and because of that eddies formation, there is some losses we can experience. Okay, so by the help of non-dimensional number, Reynolds number, we can calculate whether the fluid is laminar or turbulent. And you know that Reynolds number is less than 2000 means it is your example of the laminar flow. If it is greater than 4000, example of the turbulent flow. If it is 2000 to 4000, then it will be called, it is transition state. Compressible and incompressible flow, let us discuss the you know that compressible flow is that type of flow in which the density of the fluid remain constant, but in case of incompressible, density is not constant. Next we discuss the rotational and irrotational flow, where you know that with respect to when the fluid is flowing, and with at that time it is with respect to its own axis, if it is flowing rotating, then it will be called rotational flow, and if it is not rotating, then it will be called irrotational flow. One dimensional, two dimensional also discuss. When in case of one dimensional flow, use the function of fx, v is equal to 0, w is equal to 0. In case of two dimensional flow, we use the function of x, y, and v is the function of xy, and w is equal to 0. But here we are going to discuss about the three dimensional flow. U is equal to function of x, y, z, v is equal to function of x, y, z, and w is equal to function of x, y, z. Rate of flow, the discharge, it is basically defined as the quantity of flowing fluid per unit time. Okay, and we have discussed that it is equal to what? Q is equal to volume flow rate. isn't it? So Q is equal to volume flow rate, and we can write area into velocity also, because meter Q square into meter square per meter per second, so meter cube per second is the unit, so area into volume, that means through this cross sectional area, and what if you are multiplying the velocity of that particular fluid, you will be getting discharge. That's all. Next, continuity equation also discussed. It is basically based, this equation is based on principle of conservation of mass. Let us consider V1 is the velocity cross sectional area. This one is your cross sectional area. Here you can see this is your cross sectional area 1 and cross sectional area 2. The some fluid is flowing out. So mass flow rate is equal to, we know that rho a1 a1 v1 is equal to rho 2 a2 v2. So ultimately this equation you can get. This is your rho 1, because of the conservation of mass you can write this equation. In case of incompressible flow, the rho may be constant. Now let us solve a numerical. The diameter of a pipe at the section 1 and 2, you can see section 1 and 2, diameter is given 10 centimeter and 15 centimeter respectively. Find the discharge through the pipe if the velocity of water flowing through the pipe at section 1 and is 5 centimeter per second. Determine the velocity at the section. You can see here the diameter d1 is given, area you can find out, v1 is given, so and d2 is given also, area a2 you can find out. Now you know that the discharge is equal to area into velocity, so you can easily find out the discharge. And we know continuity equation, put the continuity equation a1 v1 is equal to a2 v2. So ultimately you can find out v2 because all the values are given. Okay, a1 v1 a2, all the values are given, so 2.22 is the meter per second is the correct answer. Next, come to the next problem number 5.2. In this problem, the diameter of the pipe A, this diameter is given 30 centimeter. Pipe conveying water branches into two pipe of diameter 20 and 15. Two pipe diameter is given, that means it is the water is flowing here from this point. You have two pipe is started. Okay, so you can see the diameter also given. If the average velocity is 30 centimeter diameter, 30 centimeter diameter pipe is 2.5 centimeter, find the discharge in the pipe and also determine the velocity in 15 centimeter pipe if the average velocity is 20 centimeter diameter in is 2 meter per second. That means this velocity also given. You can see velocity v1 is given, this velocity v2 is given, diameter d3 is given, v3 you need to find out. So nothing to do, q1 is equal to, you know that q1 plus q2 plus q3. Now a1 v1 is equal to a2 v2 plus a3 v3. So this is how you can calculate. Okay. So let us solve the numerical. Here you can see d1 a1 v1 d2 a2 v2 also given, so ultimately, and a3 also given. So put all the value, q1 is equal to q2 plus q3. Okay, put all the value, you will be getting the v3. Okay, so 6.44 meter per second because all the values are known. Similarly, problem number 5.3, it is your homework, you solve it in your home. Next, so it is your continuity equation in 3-dimensional flow. Already I have discussed something here. Basically in 3-dimensional flow, what is the continuity equation, that we have to discuss here. So this is your diagram, you can see this is your diagram, x y z direction, and some mass is coming into the system, mass is coming out of the system. Okay, so here you can see the derivation, full derivation. You can see the rho into velocity in the direction of x, that means in the phase ABCD. What is the mass flow rate? Rho into velocity in x direction into area in the phase ABCD. So you can see area of the phase ABCD is your dy into dz, isn't it? Dy, this is your dy and this is your dz. So dy is into dz, and u is the velocity component along x axis, and rho is the density. So, and in the phase EFG is some, if I am considering, that means because of this space there will be some generation of mass. If I am considering that means according to the Taylor's equation you can write rho u dy dz plus del x of rho u dy dz into dx. So ultimately gain of mass is what? Mass through ABCD minus mass through EFGH, isn't it? This is your mass through ABCD from this phase, and this is your EFGH mass. So this minus this, you will be getting minus del x of rho u dx dy dz, because this amount will be cancelled out. Okay, so this is the gain of mass in the x direction. Okay, similarly in the y direction, this is the gain of mass. Similarly in the z direction, this is the gain of mass, minus del z of rho w del x dx dy dz. So net gain of mass is this. You just sum it up, you will be getting this one. Now one more one more thing you have to know, that since the mass is neither created nor destroyed, the fluid in the fluid element, the net increase of mass per unit time in the fluid element must be equal to the rate of increase of mass fluid in the element. See, mass, we cannot create mass, we cannot destroy mass. So it is told here, since the mass is neither created nor destroyed in the fluid element, then the net increase in mass per unit time, the net increase of mass per unit time in the fluid element must be equal to the rate of increase of mass of fluid in the element, but mass of the fluid element is rho, you know, rho into v, and v is equal to dx dy dz. So this is the mass of the fluid element. So ultimately this equation del t of rho dx dy dz is equal to is the generation of mass. Now this equation will be this equation, because this is also gain of mass and this is also gain of mass. So ultimately what we are getting, del rho by del t plus del x of rho u plus del y of rho v plus del z of rho w is equal to 0. Now you are cancelling, after cancelling this part, you are getting this one. Now the equation, this equation is the continuity equation in certain coordinates in the most of the general form. Okay, but if I am considering that means this equation is basically applicable for what? This equation is basically applicable for steady and unsteady flow, uniform and non-uniform flow, compressible and incompressible flow. But if I am considering the fluid is steady flow, then del rho by del t is equal to 0. This part will be 0. So at that time the equation will be this. So this equation is basically for steady flow. But for steady, if the flow is incompressible, fluid in incompressible, then rho will be constant. So at that time this is your, for steady incompressible fluid flow, this is the continuity equation, del u by del x plus del v by del y plus del w by del z is equal to 0. And for in case of two-dimensional flow, this is the equation, del u by del x plus del v by del y is equal to 0. So this is all about the continuity equation. Next class we will be discussing the velocity, acceleration, equipotential line, these will be discussed. Okay, so today up to this, I hope it is clear. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. I will get back to you. Thank you for listening today. And this lecture will be uploaded in the DM Study Center, and this is also your assignment. Submit to it to my official mail. Thank you for listening. Jai Hind.